They're wild. They live under cover. They're among the last to escape centuries of hunting and persecution. And their enemies are implacable. We're about to show you the secret life of the common hamster. In the Rhine Valley, west of Heidelberg, between the Autobahn and the industrial areas, lies a very unusual patch of nature. The colourful common hamsters sleep away the winter 2 meters below the icy fields. They're very similar to the popular Syrian golden hamsters, but these smaller relatives are more suited to a comfortable indoor existence than the rigours of a German winter. In the past, hamsters were indigenous all over Germany. To hamster in German means to hoard, and it's this passion which has proved to be their downfall. A grain store like this can contain well over 20 kilograms of grain. Good for getting a well-prepared hamster through the cold season, but frustrating for farmers who have always been after the hamsters, as have the hungry who robbed the rich grain stores in leaner times. When the land above is still bare, hamsters prefer to spend most of their time in their hiding place. Others must battle their way through the winter, hoping that the fields will soon be planted with crops. Despite their supplies and frost-free shelter, only about half the hamster population survives the winter. For the old and sick, or for those who cannot collect enough, their own burrow becomes their grave. The end of March, with the first seeds sprouting, there is still no sign of the hamsters, but field larks are already courting. Newly returned from their winter quarters in the south, they build their well-camouflaged nests in the middle of the fields. Hares, also dwindling in number, begin to appear in the fields. At last, there are stirrings deep underground. Energetically, the hamsters begin shoveling clear the tunnels they had carefully sealed up last autumn. In April, the hamsters finally venture out of their burrows. After a diet of dry grain for 6 months, they're ravenous. Fresh, juicy greenery rewards their long wait. A fully grown common hamster is actually as big as a guinea pig, weighing around 500 grams. During winter, he lost a quarter of his body weight. Now he has to eat large amounts to make it up again. While foraging, he simultaneously scouts out his old territory. Much has changed in the intervening months. In this area, near the Heidelberg Autobahn, the hamster's home range has quite a respectable size of 2 hectares. Common hamsters aren't particularly fussy eaters. They eat almost anything green. At this time of the year especially, the new shoots of grain are appealing, but they're just as happy busily stuffing wild herbs, roots and tubers into their cheek pouches. But hamsters are no vegetarians. Beetles, locusts, insect larvae, earthworms or even larger creatures can also end up as a hamster dinner if unlucky enough to be caught. So it doesn't take long until they reach their normal weight of around 1 pound again. Hamsters are solitary creatures, even in their mating habits. The male sniffs out his territory for the scent of a female in season. She's not far away. Once they've found each other, a complicated ritual begins. These aggressive loners must first turn into tolerant partners. He approaches, sniffs, and she runs away, but not too far for him to follow. A game of cat and mouse, hamster style. Faked flight and repeated mutual sniffing are an established part of the strenuous courting procedure. His patience is finally rewarded. The female goes into her burrow and he is permitted to follow. Though he's still very wary. In the hollow chamber of the burrow, the courting reaches its climax. Any initial shyness has disappeared altogether. There are even moments of tenderness and affection. The hamster couple remains harmoniously in their subterranean hideaway and mate until, well, until the female is pregnant. Then togetherness is over. She turns on him, scratching and biting until she's chased him out of their love nest. Now it's time for him to resume his travels again and perhaps find a new partner who'll offer him another temporary home. The end of April, and everything is blooming with spring flowers. For hamsters, these are no Elysian fields. The lush greenery hides mortal dangers, among them the polecat. A fleeing hamster is surprisingly quick. And when cornered,